Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Get ready to buckle up for what should be a very busy and last couple of weeks here this year as we wrap up what has been a historic and very consequential legislative year. Obviously, as we look at what we have to finish before the end of the year, it starts with a stack of nominees, which we will be processing. I filed on those last night, and there will be a significant number of people to fill out the President's administration. As you know, the Democrats have fought and blocked and obstructed and delayed along the way to try and prevent him from getting his team in place. In spite of all that, we will be ahead in terms of the pace of the last two administrations when it comes to the President filling out his administration. Secondly, obviously, is the Defense Authorization Bill. Senator Wicker, Chairman of the Armed Services Committee, has been working aggressively with the team on his members of the committee, the full Senate and the House of Representatives, in trying to get to the finish line there. And they've got a lot of good work that's been done, a few issues outstanding, but I hope we'll be able to process that in the next couple of weeks as well. And I will tell you that, as you all know, one of the most important pieces of legislation that we do every year. And it fits in very consistently with the President's Peace Through Strength agenda. And then we got appropriations, and we're trying to get another appropriations package up on the floor. We processed 3 bills earlier this year, as you all know. We have another minibus, if you will, of appropriations bills that we're trying to get consent, and I'm hoping that we'll get to that here soon and be able to proceed forward on the appropriations process. But it has been a very busy and consequential year. Passage of the Working Families Tax Cut Act has avoided what would be, at the start of next year, for a lot of families in this country, a huge tax increase. $4.4 trillion overall, $2.6 trillion of which would fall on people, working families in this country. And that was done as part of the Working Families Tax Cut Act, as were a number of other things that are going to be important to working families, and we'll get an opportunity to talk about that this next year. And I guess I would just say finally that as we proceed, we are going to continue to keep our foot on the gas. This Republican majority is committed to working on an agenda in partnership with the President Trump and the administration and his team that will make America stronger, safer, and more prosperous. And so we're going to continue pushing forward. And I'm going to now yield to Senator Capito and would just say, on behalf of our entire Republican conference, express our sympathies to her and Senator Justice and to their constituents in the state of West Virginia on the horrific events of last weekend, and of course the family of Sarah Beckstrom, and also of Andrew Wolf, the 2 National Guard members from West Virginia whose families we continue to pray for today. Senator Capito.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank all of you. I know that many of you and those who are watching have had both the Guardsmen, the National Guard, and their families in your prayers over what should be and should have been a very joyous time for Sarah and Andrew. I would point out that Sarah and Andrew are members of the National Guard in West Virginia. The National Guard in West Virginia always steps up. Whether it's a flood, a fire, a health event, we can count on our Guard within our state and around the world to be one of the most accomplished, empathetic set of individuals that I've had the privilege to work with. So let's talk about Sarah. Sarah was 20 years old. Sarah's from a little town called Webster Springs in West Virginia. If you've ever gone skiing in West Virginia, it's very close to there. She's known by all her neighbors. She's known by the school she went to, which is grades 7 through 12 in Webster Spring High School, so you can imagine everybody knows her. Sarah volunteered to work on Thanksgiving so that others who had families could go home to their families. She's been in the Guard for several years. She was a bright sunshine ray of life, not just for her, but for her fellow Guardsmen and also her family. So please keep her family in her prayers as Sarah lost her life on Thanksgiving Day. Now we're going to talk about Andrew Wolf. Andrew Wolf is 24 years old. Andrew's from Inwood, Berkeley County, West Virginia, very close to here. He went to Musselman High School, graduated there, was a full participant in his high school years, joined the Guard before he even left high school. He wanted to serve his country. He wanted to serve his state. He is a very brave and strong person. Andrew comes from a very devout family. I spoke with his mother yesterday and asked her, what can we do? What can we do to help you and your family, and what can I do? And she said, pray. Pray hard. We believe in the value and the meaning of prayer for all of us. It speaks to us, and it speaks to Andrew as he struggles to recover. And so I think today, for us in West Virginia, it was pretty much of a sad holiday season. Because we're a small state, we care about one another. We grieve for one another. And that's how we spent our holiday, as many of you did, I think, have joyous times with your families. So Senator Justice and I are going to put a resolution forward honoring these two individuals tomorrow. But I would ask all of you and the nation to realize that these were peacekeepers. They were doing their duty. They were ambushed in a very brutal and violent way on the streets of Washington, D.C., where they were tasked to make those streets safer and help to make their streets safer, which they were. So I just want to take this opportunity to pay tribute to them, to their National Guard family, to General Seward, has done a wonderful job as our Adjutant General, and to hope and pray for Andrew's recovery. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Capito. And let me just say please express to the families our gratitude for their service on behalf of a grateful nation.
Leader Thune. Good afternoon. Thank you. Are we at war in the Caribbean? And if so, should the President declare war, and/or should Congress approve an authorization?
I think the President is acting under his authority as Commander-in-Chief in a way that's consistent with what past administrations have done. And clearly, a war has been waged by these drug cartels against the United States, and it has come at a great cost to American citizens. We've lost tens of thousands of lives in just the past year to these drug cartels. So I think the President's operating within his authorities.
After hearing from Chairman Crapo, Chairman Cassidy today at lunch, do you think Republicans will be ready to coalesce behind some sort of health care plan or alternative by next week's vote on the ACA subsidies?
We had a robust discussion on a subject that is of great interest, not only to obviously senators in the room, but the American people. And as I've said before, we want to move forward on solutions that will make health care not only more accessible, but more affordable to more Americans. That gives them more choices, more optionality, greater competition, and therefore lower prices. And so we continue to coalesce around those solutions. We had a good presentation today from a couple of our leading chairmen, Senators Crapo and Cassidy, thank you, and a lot of others that we heard from at the conversation we had today as well. So I think as we get into next week, obviously, as you know, the Democrats are going to get an opportunity to vote on a proposal of their choosing, and we will see where the Republicans come down, but that conversation continues.
Since it was confirmed earlier this year, Secretary Hegseth has engaged in a number of controversies that have gotten criticism from both sides, whether it's Signalgate or how he's talked about Ukraine, and now these Caribbean boat strikes. Do you have full confidence in his handling of his job as Secretary of Defense?
Well, I think that the fundamental question is the country safer than it was under the Biden administration? I think the answer to that is unequivocally yes. I think the Trump administration and the peace through strength policies that they are employing around the world are making our country safer. And so Secretary Hegseth is a part of that. He serves at the pleasure of the President. And I am sure that with regard to the latest question that you all have been raising, that the Senate Armed Services Committee, which is going to look into and get the facts on some of the events that have happened down the Caribbean, that we will get those answers in due time. But I have every confidence that the policies that this administration is employing when it comes to keeping people in this country safe and ensuring that our policy is one of peace through strength, that those policies are being adhered to and followed.
Is it your goal on the Republican health care plan by the end of this year?
We'll see. Again, I think a lot of this will depend a little bit on what the Democrats decide they want to do. I mean, we've got some members, as you know, who want to work with them in a constructive way on something that could be a bipartisan solution, but that hasn't landed yet. So we'll see. As I said, the conversations continue. I don't think at this point we have a clear path forward. I don't think the Democrats have a clear path forward, and they're the ones that are going to have to put together their plan to get voted on next week. But we'll see what our colleagues decide collectively that we want to do, and we're continuing to hear them out. Thank you all.